a shining star, his job to offer battle to bad men near and far. He conquered fear and he conquered...
Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I'm continuing my reviews, my tribute to Gene Wilder with Blazing Saddles. Yes, Blazing Saddles is a 1974 film that was directed by Mel Brooks, and the plot is we see this little town. It's 1874. We see this little town that's pretty much planning on being demolished, destroyed, so that the railroads can come in and have more space. So in order to make this happen faster, in order to let the town themselves, the people in the town, just cause amok and run off, they elect the first ever black sheriff, Sheriff Bart. And at first the town is like, fuck this guy, fuck this N-word. But eventually they come to appreciate him, and especially when the town is about to be ambushed by this gang, they rely on him to save the town. Now, what I thought of this movie, because this is my very first time watching Blazing Saddles. This, one of the best things about doing this tribute, watching all of these Gene Wilder movies, is that for the most part, damn near all, if not most of them, I'm watching for the first time. So this movie, I really enjoyed. I did. I laughed out loud so many times. I got a lot of great laughs from here. Let me first talk about Mel Brooks, because I guess I never really realized until right now that I haven't watched a whole lot of his comedies, of his movies. So now that I've seen these two, Young Frankenstein being the other one, I'm noticing his sensibilities, his way of delivering comedy. Sure, some of the jokes just on their own are making me laugh. The situational comedy, that's making me laugh. But I even like the clever moments whenever he has a character literally look at the screen and talk to the audience. It's something that, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody let me know if Mel Brooks, if his movies were the first to break the fourth wall. They probably weren't, maybe they weren't, but I'm really impressed by how long ago he was willing to do something like that. Now, this whole plot, the fact that it takes place in the 1800s, the fact that it is a Western that's dealing so much with racism and it's kind of making fun of it. Maybe, who knows, maybe there are people who would watch this today and be a little offended by the use of the N-word. God knows that Django and Chain people lost their shit over the use of the N-word. But I liked what he was going for here. First of all, you're not going to do a story in this times without having that word present. You're not. But I like the fact that this character, Bart, he recognizes how racist most people are. And he also knows how dumb they are. And the moments, the scenes where he uses that against them, shows how dumb they are and how much smarter he is than them. I think that's why it worked. Cleveland Little, that's, first of all, that's a hilarious name for a black dude. I'm sorry. But this guy was great. I enjoyed him, seeing how he went from a worker to a sheriff and how he embraced that and kind of got all these perks that he got. He even got to have sex with a white woman in this movie. What? I mean, we didn't see it. The lights were off. It was in the dark. She could barely see him. She couldn't. By the way, that actress is once again Madeline Kahn, who I saw in Young Frankenstein. You notice that clearly Mel Brooks has a couple of actors and actresses that he likes to reuse a lot. But speaking of actors that Mel Brooks uses a lot, Gene Wilder, kind of the guy that we're here to talk about. I like how he shows up. He oozes charisma. He's very charismatic, and his mannerisms and just his character being the town drunk. But I also liked how he had his moments, but for the most part, he stepped aside and he let the character Bart stay the true main character. It's not like he came in and said, "All right, enough of you. Let's now become my show." I appreciated how he was just there to support the main character. Kind of what supporting characters, supporting actors should do. The movie introduces this character, and his introduction is pretty fucking epic. I'm talking about Mongo. This is, like, even though I've never seen this movie before, that particular scene...
Never mind that shit. Here comes Mungo.
I've seen that so many times in either parodies or just clips. Like, so seeing it in context in a movie, and the character played by Alex Karras, who I guess was a football player that they brought in, I got a huge kick out of it. The moment when he comes in and punches the horse and knocks the horse out, like, I was really laughing there. Speaking of really laughing, some of the scenes, some of the situations, it's hard to reenact it to fully represent why I found it so funny, but there was a couple of moments, especially with Bart, like when he first comes into the town to show himself as the sheriff, and they're there to welcome him. They're all there, and the one guy is up and he's trying to tell them that he's an N-word, but they can't hear him over the bell. And then when he shows up and they all sort of freaked out and they don't know what to say, and he gets on stage and he's like, all right, let me just whip this thing out here. And all the people gasp because they think he's... There's so many moments that are, yes, very over the top, very silly, very goofy. Almost everybody in this movie is over the top and goofy, but I think that's what helps make it work. That's why you don't really get offended by some of the stuff going on here, because a lot of these characters are either dumb or just so goofy that you don't think of it that way. You don't take it that seriously. Like Mel Brooks plays the governor, and the scenes with him is so goofy, but yet so hilarious. Really had me laughing very well. The last thing I want to mention is something, because I talked about how there's moments, there's scenes where characters look at the camera, look at the audience, and talk to us. And I like that. But the very end of this movie pretty much doesn't break the fourth wall, it shatters the fourth wall. And it's almost like these characters come out of the movie and come into the real world. And they're just, I don't know why it happened. I don't know how it happened. I think that's when I loved it. That's when I just said, wow, he's going for it. He doesn't give a shit. He just wants this to be an all-out battle, first of all. A lot of fighting going on, but fun. And that's what it was. It was a lot of fun. Just seeing them run around, go into the theater, and oh, let's watch how the movie ends. I hope it's a happy ending. I love happy endings. And then you just go back into the movie. Like, I love that. It was so different, I'm sure, for the time. I can't imagine movies doing stuff like that, because it doesn't even barely happen now. I really enjoyed this film. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Blazing Saddles? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!